I write 20,000 words a month, and writing is not a priority for me. Here's how that works. Hi, I'm Tom. I write fiction as T.H. Willoughby, and I have been thinking a lot recently about what my priorities are and how I make that work with the writing I do. Now, I think at this point it's good to describe what I mean when I say writing is not a priority. One of the most useful things I ever heard in life was you should never say, I don't have time for X. Like, I shouldn't ever say I don't have time for writing. Because at the end of the day, everyone has 1,440 minutes in the day. And that's like all we get. It's what all everyone gets, and the only difference is how we use it. And some people have different priorities. Like, if someone has a child, then taking care of that child is usually a priority for them. If they have to work long hours to pay the bills and eat food, then paying the bills and eating food is a priority, and therefore work is a priority. And so it's not bad to say X is not a priority. It's not bad to say writing is not a priority, and it's not bad to say working so I can earn money and have a house or a roof over my head and food and heat is a bigger priority than writing. That's a perfectly natural, normal thing to say. And saying taking care of my kid is a bigger priority than writing is a natural, normal thing to say. But I think the phrase this is a priority and this is not a priority are both much more helpful than saying I don't have time. Because particularly it helps us discover the things that we are prioritizing above the things that we want to prioritize and where we can make time. I think one example from my own life is, I think if I was to say I don't have time to learn guitar, and then rephrase that as I don't have time to, or learning guitar is not a priority for me, I could look at that and say, yeah, okay, it's not a priority. It's something I would like to do, but it's not a priority. And if I said instead, I'm not all that confident in social situations, I should try and be in more social situations so I get more used to it and get more confident, but I don't have time. If I was to say that, then I could rephrase it as becoming more socially confident is not a priority, and then I would examine that and say, actually, it should be. That's something I want to be a priority. So that's a tangent based on, I think, something very important to this discussion, which is I have priorities, and I really want writing to be one of the top ones, and for the most part that is. But it's also very important for me to realise there are things in my life which are a much higher priority than writing. Some of them are health, friends, work, and so on. And that's particularly relevant to the fact that I started these vlogs a few weeks back, and since then, every single week I think I've done a vlog and I've said, well, something happened and I didn't quite get to do as much writing as I wanted on X day or Y day, but at the same time I've roughly caught up, kept pace with what I want to be doing, which suggests that I have my priorities straight. I've set out a goal, which is write 20,000 words a month. While I'm editing, when I'm doing free writing or writing to a plot outline, I can do a lot faster. During one of the NaNoWriMos, I got up to 50,000 words in that month. But if I'm editing, it's all a lot slower because I've got to do a lot more reading between scenes, and I've got to be plotting on the fly almost and working out what comes next. So during those times, I've worked out about 5,000 words a week or 20,000 words a month, and for the most part, I've been hitting that. This week, there's been a couple of changes to that, I guess. One of them is I got to the end of the scenes I had been planning to add during the editing phase, which means I've now lost my ability to use word count as a good way of tracking progress, because at the moment I'm doing things a lot more structural. I've got to work out whether it's all consistent, I've got to work out whether character motivations and how they're portrayed, I've got to make sure they're in line and the character arcs evolve at the same time. So I kind of lost a bit of motivation and a lot of momentum because I didn't have a good measuring stick. So what I did was I went through and looked at all of my to-do list, all of the notes I've been using, and I assigned a rough time duration to them. And these aren't like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. I decided to divide them up based on session time, writing session time. So whereas before I had like between 1,000 and 1,500 words was what I wanted to write in each session, depending on how far ahead or behind I was, I could then start writing on one of my writing days, and I would know that I would have to keep writing until I'd hit that word count. And that was really helpful, and so this new way of doing it, instead of a word count I've got to hit, I have to do enough tasks to fill up a session as I've estimated. So some tasks I've said this will take half a session, some I've said it will take a quarter session, and some a fifth of a session, and whatever. So I know if I start a session, I can do 5 tasks that take 1/5 of a session, and once I've done that, I can say, yep, I've done my writing for today. And some tasks are, I think I've got one task which is 5 sessions, which when I get to that one, I will have to break it down into subtasks so I know how much I need to be doing each day. But the other reason that kind of all fell over this week is because some stuff in my personal life took priority. As I said, friends, health, and work tend to take priority over writing, and this week all of those kind of came and clashed with each other, and writing had to take a backseat. In terms of health, yesterday and today are 2 of my writing days, and yesterday I had a pre-migraine, which meant I could barely string a sentence together, and today I had a full-blown migraine, which means that I spent most of the day in bed asleep. Which is why I'm wearing sunglasses while it's cutting it down with rain, because fresh air helps the migraine, light does not help the migraine, and so I needed to go for a walk even though it's raining, and I needed to not be exposed to light so much. But it has been a long vlog this week. I got a bit rambly there, but I hope that some of the topics I've talked about today have been helpful to someone, and Until next time, have a nice day.